Back with more Titans. This is episode 13 of season 2 and the season finale. Season 2's kind of flown by. I just remember sitting down for the premiere, like being really hyped, and that's like 12 weeks ago, basically, and that's just nuts. And here we are. It's been a hell of a journey with season 2. Mostly ups for me personally. A couple of downs. But I wouldn't say there's like been an episode I've been like, nah, that's rubbish. And there have been weaker ones, I would say. But definitely season 2's been a lot stronger than season 1. Even though I personally really liked season 1 as a whole, I really enjoyed it. Which isn't the most popular of opinions, I don't think. But I think season 2 really did step it up with the whole Deathstroke thing. And, you know, we've had some really, really strong episodes in this season. Hopefully there's, you know, a lot more they can learn and take on board for season 3. Whenever that's coming, probably next year sometime, nearer the end of the year. But I definitely think they're moving in the right direction in terms of making the show what it can be and needs to be and stuff like that. As long as this finale's good, I suppose. Because if we don't get everyone like properly becoming a team in this episode, and they're still just like fighting and everything, I'd be like, come on. But you know, this is the episode I think so many of us have been waiting for ever since the show was even announced. You know, as soon as it was kind of announced, we were kind of all assumed, you know, we're going to get a live action Nightwing. This is going to be so, so cool. This episode's called Nightwing, so if he doesn't show up, I'm going to be a bit disappointed. But you know, Dick got this new suit at the end of the last one. We're going to properly see Nightwing in this one. I'm so excited. Intrigued as to how they're going to handle the Deathstroke situation and the Jericho kind of thing with that. How are they going to handle everything with Cadmus? They have Connor and Gar under their control still, so they definitely need to address those two things. Blackfire, I think, is going to be on the back burner for season 3, which I'm completely fine with because that would just be too much. We had like Rachel's like powers and stuff, like the scratch on her back in the early episodes of the season. You know, I feel like they lost that along the way a bit. And you know, the team still isn't completely together, and then haven't really made up yet. You know, Hank's still off doing his own little thing, so he needs to reunite with everyone, and what's going to happen with Hank and Dawn and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. And I did watch the promo for this episode, and it was like, a Titan will fall. So I imagine someone's going to die. I've heard a lot of rumours about who. There's a couple of different options. Honestly, I don't want any of them to die, so I'm definitely not going to be thrilled, I imagine. But it depends how things play out, and we'll have to wait and see exactly who it is and how it happens and stuff like that. But yeah, I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of expectations, and I'm hoping this is at least going to be a satisfying end to this season, potentially set up next season as well. But obviously I'll talk about all my thoughts at the end of the season as a whole and the finale. So yeah, I've been yabbering on for long enough. Let's get into it.
We at Cadmus know that evil exists in the world, and we are uniquely positioned to stop it.
Yeah, look in the mirror, bitch. I'd have fucking died if it just went straight into her forehead. I don't think this is going to be a very fun fair, to be honest. There's going to be carnage at the carnival. No! Not the snow cone.
They're gone, and I haven't been able to get them back. Well, that's fucking great.
I won't hurt her. I don't care what they've done to her.
Good.
I just won't.
If they're hurting innocent people, we need to be prepared.
Oh! Jesus. Oh, good. Here we go. Yes! Oh my god, he looks so good. Come on. I'm so hyped. You're the one who stabbed him. Aww, yes.
With your friends.
Ah?
You finally accepted your true family.
I have.
Yep.
Titans are my family.
Awkward. It's electrifying. Oh. Whoa! Sorry, Jericho, that's twice.
You know what to do.
Oh, he's gonna jump into her. Whoa, it's a whole other kind of sibling bond. That was easier than I thought.
What's up?
Yeah.
When you died, you broke us. We're together again. You were always
Aw.
part of our family.
I like the new digs.
I get it.
Can they like find a new body for him or what?
Dead? Yeah.
Justice for Garth. Stop giving Garth things to feel bad about. Don't eat the policeman. Oh my god! Oh no! Cats always land on their feet. Oh dear. Oh, the CGI. Oh man. Oh, they're in costume! Oh, look at them.
Garth.
Oh my god.
It's me.
I've missed scenes with these two.
Why's he looking at me like that?
Probably because you're dressed like a giant bird.
Well.
That was rude.
Oopsie.
My friend!
Ah!
Something's blocking the feed.
Technical difficulties, Miss Graves.
Is that Bruce?
It appears bidding is closed for the day.
Oh my god.
Perfect timing.
Things are getting super fucking ugly out here. Not gonna make fun of my suit. I just did.
Trigon was trying to turn everyone back. You were the only one he couldn't turn.
Oh yeah, he talked her around.
You reminded me.
Oh, that's cool. She does the same thing. Ah. Yay! Ew. Oh boy. What's the plan here?
You're not alone anymore.
And where's Crypto? I quite like this. It's cool seeing him be like, you know, the leader. I like Dick like showing someone else the light when he's always kind of been consumed by darkness. It's kind of cool. And you know, with Trigon, he was like consumed by darkness, and now I like how they've kind of paralleled it. Now rip Mercy's head off. Oh shit, oh shit. That's what I said.
On subject 13.
This is why you don't do mad scientist experiments on people.
It's over.
This is for Lex Luthor.
Good.
Damn it.
Yay, they're actually kind of a team. God, just there and like his cloth.
So, Dolly?
It's mine now. Oh shit! Didn't I get knocked earlier? Fuck. You kidding me? Okay, that was kind of stupid. Why? If you're gonna kill someone off, why not do it during like the final battle, you know? Instead of like an afterthought. Oh.
There's only one word for this.
Bullshit. Oh, the whip. It looked so cool. I mean, you know, it's a comic book TV show.
Thank you.
She's probably not dead.
I should go. With Donna. If anybody can help her, it's me.
Look, we all want to bring her back.
That's true.
You don't understand. And the others.
I'll let him know.
I mean, they are right there. You could just say bye to them. Oh, is that Jason? Oh. It's nice that he was there. So 5 seconds.
I know how much Donna meant to you.
If only they'd actually shown it this season.
The art of life seems to be in how you put them back together.
It's kind of suspiciously like advice.
No, I've been working on it for a while. Fight the impulse to turn inward, to turn away from others. Your team is in grief.
Thank you.
It's a process best not done alone.
Should have told him that in episode 1 of season 1.
Shit on that one. And it wasn't your fault. Really, then whose fault was it? Mine. I left you here alone.
Mercies.
Never should have done that. You fought like hell to keep the Titans alive. But I let you down.
Oh. Oh. He's a very sentimental guy. He's kind of like me.
Yeah, I had a chance to think about some of the good that we did.
That karaoke.
You think Hank and Donna?
Oh.
What about Hawk and Dove?
Yeah, Jason's not here. I'm sure you're welcome.
Elko.
Yes, Nevada.
Oh.
I've never been to Elko.
Oh.
Confuse me with someone else.
What's that about then?
You think Rachel got in our heads and sent us a Bruce Wayne?
Oh, that makes sense.
He was there.
Nothing linking us other than parents that like to dress up at night and fight crime.
Guy's probably freaking out these there.
Family.
Oh, they're all drinking
Yeah,
the
right here.
soda she likes. Aw.
What's next for a song?
Pain, probably.
Thanks for giving me a second chance at family.
Oh. Oh, God.
Thanks to you guys for taking
Ugh.
me back in. Responding to a disturbance in the Mission District. Sounds bad.
Titans time.
What are you waiting for?
Is Batman going too? Ah. See, this is what I want season 3 to be. This. Tiger. Crypto! Finally. Oh. Oh dear. Black Fire's your mum now, kids. Okay. Overall, I really liked that as a finale. I can already see people being angry about it, and I can completely understand it, but, you know, I just tend to be more forgiving on TV shows, I guess. I just try and see the positives in things, and I don't enjoy watching, you know, reactions or videos that are, like, overly negative, or just straight out bashing on something, even if it's justified. That's just, for me, I personally don't enjoy that. That's why I tend to try and focus on, like, the positive things, or just be constructive and not be like, you know, you're a bunch of shit. And I imagine people are going to be angry about Deathstroke being killed like 15 minutes in, and about the death. And, you know, I'm kind of disappointed by those two things as well. Not so much the Deathstroke thing, I'm not as bothered by, because I can kind of see, Jericho was inside him, he was kind of a bit weakened in that sense. Jericho could be fighting back. You know, it wasn't like Deathstroke at his best, but, you know, we could have maybe seen how Wintergreen reacted to that. You know, what's he going to do now? I don't know if he's just gone, or maybe he'll come back in season 3 or something. I mean, for all we know, you know, Deathstroke's not even dead. It's a comic book TV show, you know, no one's probably going to stay dead. And the fact that they sent Donna off with Rachel, and we've seen Rachel like bring a deer back to life in season 1. I'm sure she'll bring Donna back. Otherwise, what's the point of even sending her there with her if it's not just going to work? It might go wrong. So then there's just, I know there's a storyline in the comics where Donna dies and I think she comes back evil, maybe, and she's like a villain. So maybe something goes wrong with Rachel's powers and, you know, the Trigon shit and all that. Maybe Donna gets brought back evil, who knows. But we'll talk about the death a bit later on, how it was handled anyway. Oh, where do we even begin? I am glad that, well actually I'll talk about the post-credit scene with Blackfire first, because that's obviously going to be a big set for Season 3. I knew they were kind of saving Blackfire for Season 3 to be like the big bad, and I'm very glad they did that, but it was cool to kind of remind us and tease us that that's still happening with that little scene at the end. You know, it wasn't like hype levels of last season when we got, you know, the Superboy and Crypto scene, and we didn't get teased any new Titans, which might be for the best for a while, because, you know, it's kind of a crowded team. But it's still a nice reminder that she's out there, she's now on Earth, and she's going to cause some havoc, because, you know, Corey's kind of lost her powers. And I thought they kind of explained it in the last episode when she was kind of saying, you know, because I've kind of lost control of my life, and maybe that's kind of like psychologically affected her powers or something, and that's why she couldn't use them. But it seems there's more to it than that. So I'm intrigued as to where they're going to, you know, go with that, and I'm sure Blackfire may have something to do with it. But I'm excited to see what they do with her next season. Hopefully it'll bring Corey like front and centre as well, and give her a lot more focus, because I do feel like a lot of characters got relegated this season and toned down. Sometimes they're a bit out of character, I felt. So I just wasn't a fan of them just arguing until literally like this last episode. Hopefully that's no longer going to be the case. It seems like it's going to be a proper family unit now, which is what I really wanted from this finale, and they gave me that, so awesome. Season 3, hopefully it's going to be like Titans together, no little quabbles and everyone just, you know, splitting apart. They felt like a little family unit at the end, and I'm very happy with that. Hopefully they stay with that for Season 3, otherwise I will be a bit annoyed. But it was nice seeing them all come together in that sense. And the Blackfire tease was nice for like a, this is, you know, this is what Season 3 is going to be. And hopefully they don't introduce too much more on top of Blackfire. You know, they had a lot going on this season. They had, you know, Corey and Blackfire. They had Rachel, like, and her powers, and I feel like that kind of got lost in translation and a bit lost in the mix. They didn't really do everything that they should have done. You know, the whole gargoyle thing, getting possessed and killing that guy. Where did that go? I'm not even sure I get, why did she see him get killed by Deathstroke? I don't know. And you know, when she was getting like the scar, like scratches on her body and stuff in the first few episodes, it's like always Trigon still like trying to claw his way back. I feel like they didn't properly explain that, so hopefully we get a bit more of that next season. And yeah, we had, you know, Hank and Dawn like breaking up and all of that. They seem to kind of make amends a bit. We'll see what happens with that. We had, you know, Dick becoming Nightwing, we had Deathstroke, and then the Jericho thing on top of the Deathstroke thing. We had Rose coming into it, and the romance with Jason. Yeah, a lot kind of went on like that. And I think they do need to kind of not use quite so many different storylines going on for next season. I think they just need to slim it down a bit, and then that will allow them to really focus on things a lot better. So that's my big hope. I'm just going to write something down so I don't forget. Okay. And yeah, we'll talk about the whole Deathstroke thing first, because they kind of dealt with that originally. I really enjoyed Deathstroke this season. I thought he was really, really cool. The actor was fantastic. I enjoyed the Jericho storyline on top of all that, and it was nice that they saved him technically. I wonder what they're going to do with that next season, the fact that he's in Rose's body. I did like that, and these two siblings that kind of really never really met, now they're kind of really connected. I quite like that. And Rose like joining the Titans again, she was kind of part of that lineup. It was cool. I'm not sure it was really earned when she was like, oh, the Titans are my family. Because like the last time she'd seen them, she like fucked off with Jason. She was like, nah, screw this, I'm not staying here. The next time she's like with them all, they're my family. I'm going to turn my back on my dad. I get the sentiment, and I'm glad she kind of went in that direction, because she learned to regret working with Deathstroke and stuff like that. But I don't think it was really earned to say, oh, these are my family, you know. But still, I like that she was quite tentative about like coming to dinner and stuff like that though. So overall, I really enjoyed the addition of Deathstroke and Rose and Jericho this season. hopefully we'll see a bit more of them in the future. Maybe not Deathstroke because he's kind of dead, but they can bring him back. But yeah, it was kind of... I wish Deathstroke had been like the final big bad, you know? I wish they kind of dealt with the Cadmus stuff first and then all fought Deathstroke together. They like really teamed up for Deathstroke, because Deathstroke was the reason they like split apart, you know, why the Titans broke up in the first place when he killed Garth. So I think it would have been really nice for them to save Connor and Garth from Cadmus, and then Deathstroke shows up for that final battle and they all come together to stop him. So he split them up originally in the past, and now in the present they all come together to stop him right at the end, because he was like the threat from episode 1, and we had like Cadmus introduced in like episode 6 or something when Connor was first introduced. So I would have liked it maybe switched around, but still, I think that would have made it a bit easier to swallow that he died 15 minutes into a 50-minute episode, you know. But I really liked the fight with him and Nightwing. I can say Nightwing now, that's so cool. And Rose showing up. So it didn't really bother me the way they kind of defeated him. I think it was still a pretty cool fight. I just would have preferred it to be after they dealt with the Cadmus stuff, so it had a bit more of like an impact. Because, you know, it ended up being quite an afterthought as the finale went on, and I don't think that's great considering he was like the big bad for most of this season. But still, overall, I really enjoyed what they did with Deathstroke and Rose and Jericho and all of that. It was nice seeing them all kind of pop up, and I think they rounded off the story in a pretty decent way. So that's cool, and we'll see what happens in the future with that, and the fact that they're in the team is pretty cool. And yeah, let's just talk about Nightwing. Holy shit. I think it's probably my favourite sections when we see Dick in the Nightwing costume. I think he looks so good. The costume looks fantastic. I loved, you know, all the fight choreography with him and Deathstroke and everything. And really seeing Dick like become this leader figure. When he was talking to Connor, he kind of talked him out of like his trance. When he was talking to Rachel and telling her to like go with Donna's body and like do her thing. And also when he was talking to Gar near the end as well and comforting him. He really felt like a leader when he gave that speech about Donna at the end and was talking to Bruce about family and everything. I really liked seeing him inhabit this Nightwing role and this leader role. He really stood up to the plate. And what Bruce was kind of telling him, you know, don't give in to that temptation to turn your back and walk away from people anymore. I really like that he said that, because that's been a big frustration of mine this season, in particular. And hopefully, you know, Titans together for now on, hopefully. But I love seeing Nightwing. He looked so cool, really badass. I loved everything about that and everything surrounding it. And then yeah, I enjoyed seeing Connor and Gar kind of be talked out of their possession, I guess. Hijacking by Cadmus and then fighting back. That was cool. I really liked Rachel being the one to like talk Gar down from it, considering Gar talked Rachel down from her little thing in episode 1. I really liked the parallels between that. I thought that was done very, very nicely. And like having some flashbacks in there and stuff, bringing Gar back into the fold. That was great. I just really had been missing some Rachel and Gar interactions. The fact that we got a bit in this episode was great. Really, really happy about that. And yeah, just Gar feeling really bad and guilty about what had happened and all the people that he'd killed, and it wasn't his fault. Ooh. I liked that, you know, Raven, or Rachel I should say, and Dick were both there to kind of comfort him in those moments. That was really nice. And what Dick was kind of, you know, apologising to him for leaving him on his own, like praising him for always wanting the Titans to be together and trying to save the Titans. I like that he kind of gave Gar credit for that and gave him props and praised him for that, because he's the one who's really held on to that hope about the Titans all season, when basically no one else did. So I really like that Dick kind of praised him for that. That was great. Hopefully he gets more screen time in the next episode though. Next season. Because they did a lot better with him in the last few episodes of the season, but there was a good portion like midway through the season where they just weren't using him. I think they do need to still work on balancing their characters a lot more. And yeah, that's why I don't think we should be introducing any new Titans for a while. So I'm kind of glad we didn't get any teasers of new ones. I'm sure they will bring in new members, but maybe they could bring them in if others are leaving. But we'll see what happens. And yeah, Mercy getting her comeuppance was great. I loved Bruce like hacking you know, her like auction thing, that was great. And before he showed up at the end, I really liked Bruce in this episode a lot, actually. I wasn't really sure when we first saw him in like episode 1. I wasn't sure on their interpretation of him, but completely won me round by like midway through the season. Really, I was like, yeah, you're Bruce Wayne. And yeah, I've really enjoyed Ian Glenn this season. I hope we continue to see him next season as well. And it would be cool to kind of see like, I don't know if we ever like get Kid Flash or something, but Barry Allen be there, and or if we had like Clark Kent, Superman, in a similar kind of role to how Bruce is. Kind of like, I haven't seen Young Justice, I do want to. The animated thing. I know like you have Bruce and you have Clark and you have Barry there. Not every episode, but just around, kind of be like mentors. I'd like them to kind of have those roles in the future as well, like not just Bruce. That'd be cool. But yeah, really loved Bruce in this episode, and when he was talking to Corey, and it turns out like Raven or Rachel. Why do I keep calling her Raven? I know she is Raven, but they don't really use that term in the show, do they? It turns out like Rachel had like made this image of Bruce before in episode 11 to like get everyone together. That was her, and that makes a lot more sense. So that kind of solved one of the issues I had with episode 11. It was like, how did Bruce do this? It didn't really make sense, because when it first started happening in that episode, I was like, oh wait, Rachel's doing something, and that actually was what it ended up being. So I really liked that. Getting some clarification about that was cool. So yeah, that was good. And yeah, I've actually really enjoyed Mercy this season. I think she's been a great like love to hate villain. I don't know if we're going to see more of her. She's definitely in trouble with Lex Luthor. We might see her again. We'll have to wait and see. But I liked seeing like her plan coming to fruition with like phase 2 and the auction and everything. And her getting her what for. I like Corey just punching her in the face, as you do, as she deserved. So yeah, that was really cool. And I have really enjoyed her this season. So I would not be against seeing her again if she does pop up. So that was cool with her. And yeah, Rachel just kind of stepping up, making that decision to go with Donna at the end was pretty interesting. I am very intrigued as to where they're going to go with that. Because you can't have the full team together. You just can't. You had to have one of them go off on their own, of course. Well, 2 I suppose, because Jason wasn't really part of the team at the end either. But yeah, I enjoyed her like talking Guy down and like helping Dick get inside Connor's head as well, kind of talking around. I thought that was very nicely done, how that all worked out. So I really liked her. Then Hank coming back into the fold. He had quite a few funny lines in this episode as well, which I've kind of missed from Hank. So that was great. Him like taking the piss out of Dick's costume was really funny. And yeah, him and Dawn kind of having like a well they won't they scene at the end. Maybe, you know, Hank and Dawn are over, but what about Hawk and Dove? And she seemed to like that answer. So obviously I don't think things are completely over with those two. We'll see what happens. In a show like Titans I don't really need like the relationship drama, but it's kind of a thing with every show like ever. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens with those two next season as well. I have had my ups and downs with Hank and Dawn this season. Just like keep on going their separate ways, and I don't know. I feel like they've kind of done dirty to Hank, Dawn and Donna this season, really. Kind of making them all like be against Dick all the time. Not in a dirty way. And yeah, I missed seeing them be like supportive friends, really. I felt like they really needed that in this season. They just didn't do it. They had everyone hate everyone else, and I think that didn't do the season any favours, particularly in the second half. It just got a bit tiresome, I think, for me, pretty quickly. So hopefully they can learn to actually be friends again, like in the flashbacks and stuff. But we'll see, you know. I don't think anything's going to stay hunky-dory for too long, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens with those two. And yeah, we saw Jason very briefly at the end at Donna's kind of like funeral thing. Literally on his bike, and then he pissed off again after 5 seconds. But it was nice that he kind of was there for a little moment and that Dick saw he was there. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him next season, because I would love to get Red Hood at some point. Maybe at the end of next season they can like kill him, or maybe even season 4, if we get a season 4. But I I would die for like a Red Hood show, or like a Red Hood and the Outlaws, because I love the Red Hood and the Outlaws series, particularly the 2011 run. And I don't think it's a very popular opinion, but whatever. I would love to get like a Red Hood and the Outlaws show, and I think Cohen's such a good actor and a really great Jason Todd, so I'd love to see him kind of take that story forward. But we'll see what happens with Jason next season. You know, there's probably some unfinished business with him and Rose to deal with as well. So yeah, it was kind of cool that he showed up, however briefly, for that little bit. And yeah, everything with Corey, like losing her power, she can get hurt now quite easily. What's exactly going on with her powers, I'm still not sure, but I'm hoping they give us a bit more of that next season. I'm sure they will. I think she's going to be a big focus next season because of Blackfire being the big bad, which I'm very excited to see. I want more scenes of Dick and Corey together. We got like next to nothing this season, which is disappointing. We didn't get many of the interactions I really wanted, which is kind of a shame. So season 3, focus on the characters you have now and the stories you've already got going on. Don't introduce loads of new characters and loads of new like storylines. Stick with what you've already got, wrap those up in season 3, and then go from there. I think you just need to really streamline it for season 3, because I think it's very easy to get convoluted with this show, because the season I think started off quite strong in terms of like the storylines and the focus. I remember thinking that episode 2, I was like, oh, was it Glimmer or Shimmer? Shimmer. I was like, oh, she'll come back. She's a bit useless. She got caught in that one scene. She'll come back later on this season. She didn't. She was just shit. Do you remember Shimmer in episode 2? Donna and Corey catching her? It feels like years ago. But yeah, I think just streamline things a bit. And season 3, I just beg them to only really focus on what they've got going on right now instead of introducing loads of new shit. Even if it is like a really cool idea, save it until the time is right. You know, don't convolute things. I think season 2 did get like that at points. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on all of that, but I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing a bit more of Corey next season, letting her shine, let all the characters kind of shine equally, which they haven't quite mastered yet, but maybe season 3 will be the season, third time lucky. And yeah, just getting all the different interactions between like the core 4 characters from season 1 would be great, just to see them a bit more. That's all I'm asking, okay, please. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And then Donna, the death. Now, I fucking love this show. Hopefully you got that impression from my reactions. That I can't quite excuse. I think that was really stupid. I think that was very badly done. Just the way it happened. I do feel like they focused on the bit that collapsed a bit earlier in the episode. So it's not like it just suddenly collapsed for no reason. I feel like they did have a scene where it got like hit or like electricity like flowed out of it. I feel like they did like show that it was a bit weakened. So it wasn't completely out of nowhere, and I'm not angry about that. If you're going to kill off a Titan, and you're going to kill off fucking Wonder Girl, kill her off in like the final confrontation with Deathstroke or something, to like parallel Garth's death or whatever. Or kill her off when they're fighting Cadmus or something, you know, have Connor like tear her head off, I don't know, nothing like that brutal, but you know what I mean. Not when all's said and done, oh, and then that thing falls down, she gets electrocuted. It just seemed a bit like, oh shit, we haven't killed anyone off, it's a season finale, we probably should. Let's just have that fall down, and Donna can save Dawn's life and die. That's kind of how it felt, and they didn't add that in and then maybe like rewrite the script a bit to make it be part of the final battle. I just don't think it was very well written in terms of how that came about. I have no problem with them killing someone off. I wouldn't have even had an issue with them killing Donna off, even though I love Donna as a character, really. I wish season 1 Donna had made herself known a bit more in season 2, but that's not the direction they took with her, which is kind of a shame. But I still liked the character, and I think Corner Leslie's fantastic. But yeah, I'm not against them actually killing her if they wanted to kill her. But the way they did it, I thought was pretty poor. And because it was so like almost out of the blue in that sense and not very well done, I think, in terms of execution, I didn't really feel it in the way I think I would have done if they had like integrated it in a better way and written it in a better way. there's some really nice moments from that. Like Dick's speech was really nice about thanking her for giving him a second chance of family. That was really sweet. The fact they were all drinking that orange soda thing she liked was really sweet. But I feel like the impact was kind of sucked away from it because I just don't think it was very well written in terms of how it happened, and B, she's almost certainly going to come back because, you know, Rachel's gone with the body to kind of try and potentially bring her back, and if they're doing that, surely it's going to work. Like, what's the point of sending Rachel there with them? If she tries, like season 3 episode 1, she tries, it doesn't work, she's like, oh, never mind then, she goes back home again. What would be the point if it's not going to work, you know what I mean? So I feel like it is going to bring her back somehow. So that's another reason why I don't think it had as much an impact as it could have done, you know? Maybe like a last act of redemption, Hank could have pushed Dawn out of the way and he died, you know? And that's kind of how she made peace with him in a sad way. Something like that, you know? But that's not what we got. Not how I would have done it, that's for sure. If you had to kill her off, fine. If that's what you wanted to do. And it may be setting her up, you know, to be a villain or whatever. But at least make it decent, you know? I don't know. It didn't sit quite right with me, how they did it. I'm not against them doing it, just how they did it I think was pretty bad. And also, the CGI. I'm not too mad about the CGI, because you know what, budget restrictions and stuff like that, it's hard for them to do Beast Boy because of the budget, I understand that. And you know, I think some of the best films, and like with all these like budget and stuff like that, even so, some of the CGI in those films are dodgy. Like some of the Marvel films I think have pretty dodgy CGI. I don't think the CGI Michael Douglas in Endgame was particularly great. Or even the CGI Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War I thought was kind of... but you know, even big budget films I think do have to make restrictions on CGI, but it was the bit where like the tiger was biting Connor's arm and he just went like that and it flew. That bit looked a bit dodgy, but it's okay. I think that's quite charming when the CGI isn't all there for the most part. So I'm not really mad about it, but I thought I'd bring it up because, you know, it was just a thing I noticed. But yeah, I think that's kind of everything I have to talk about for this finale. Yeah. Overall, I actually did really enjoy it. I can see why people might not. The Deathstroke thing doesn't bother me entirely. I just wish he'd been like the final boss, if you will, and Cadmus came before that. But it is what it is, especially because I kind of set it up to address that directly right away at the end of episode 12, where they had Gar, like the ending with Gar in episode 12. They could have just carried on straight from there and sorted it, but they didn't. They delayed it with the Deathstroke thing first, and that was kind of weird. But still, the fact that the Titans all came together and they felt like a family, love. That was the big thing I wanted, I got it. So overall, I'm satisfied with how things have gone in terms of the arc this season. Nightwing, awesome, loved it. Can't wait to see more of him. I really liked Bruce Wayne's inclusion. I liked how they got Connor and Gar back on side. The Blackfire tease is nice for season 3, and I'm glad that they've saved her for season 3, really. And yeah, just I think Donna's death was the thing that was like, you could have done that a bit better. Everything else I'm perfectly happy with. Not exactly how I would have done things, but I'm still happy with what they did. And overall, I've really, really enjoyed season 2. I think it was great. First half was probably stronger for me than the second half. But regardless, as overall, I think season 2 has been really, really good fun. Really solid stuff. Definitely better than season 1, even though I liked that. And I look forward to season 3. I'm very, very excited to see all these characters again, as I always am. So, I think overall, season 2, very, very well done for me. I actually had a lot of fun doing it, a lot of fun watching it and reacting to it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my reactions to season 2. I know not all of you have. I've gotten quite a few comments who don't like my reactions. Don't fucking watch them. But yeah, season 2, we're done. It went quite quickly, which I think is probably a good thing. You want things to kind of feel like, oh, you want more, you know? But I like their formula of like 13 episode seasons. Well, I know season 1 was 11 episodes, but you know what I mean. Maybe like a shorter run. They just patched too much into it, I think, this season, just slightly. But overall, really great season, and I can't wait for season 3 to come, probably next year. And yeah, until whatever the hell comes next. Well, actually, I am doing a thing in December, like a 12 days of Christmas thing, and I'm doing like one a day for 12 days, focusing on a different show I react to. Titans is one of those days, so be sure to look out for that next month sometime, a video on Titans. But yeah, until whenever, thanks for watching.